Yeah, hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to Full Stack Development session. So, in our previous session, what we have discussed about two types of applications, right? Generally, standalone applications and web-based applications, or we say them like web applications. Standalone are something where we do not require any server and all directly. You can create some programs by learning any of the programming language properly. You can write programs, and all those programs together gives you one software, and once it is ready, that has to be installed in one computer and people can work with that. So it's not a big deal, you don't have to maintain the server and all. But when it comes to the web-based application, or we say simply web application, in this, completely that full stack development is nothing but it's a process of end-to-end web application development. That is full stack development. Here it is simply end-to-end web application development. Before we proceed further, online people, one of you just to give me the confirmation that you are able to see my screen and as well as you are able to hear my voice.
Yes, I can hear your voice and I can see your screen.
Okay, yeah, fine. So now, in that, as we know that web application development is a process. Whatever we do in full stack development is nothing but indirectly we are developing a complete web application. In this, we do have two major parts. It is involved with two major parts. That is the front end development, and the next one would be the back end development. So when it comes to the front end development, here what we do is the client side. So when you're talking about the web-based applications, definitely we require two side softwares we need to create. One is the client side one, the other one would be the server side one. So it is when we are talking about the front end, we need to create something at client side. So that is usually nothing but a website. We have to create a website. When we are talking about a website, it is nothing but web pages. Websites contain web pages. Any website, it will be containing the web pages. So one must create a web page in order to create the websites. So in this front end, the main part is like the UI. People will be developing the UI, the user interface, where actually users will connect it to your entire application. See, front end, back end, for our purpose, we are dividing and we are learning. But in a real-time scenario, application is application. That's it. So when you are talking about the user, who will use at the end of the day, end users will be using your application. The application could be anything. It may be an online shopping application, or it may be something like train booking or bus booking kind of application. It could be a social media application. It can be anything, but it has to be used by the user, normal user. When we're talking about the user will be connecting to our application only through the front end, because it does not know what is happening in the back end, like what databases you're using and what code you're using, how you connect, and nothing you'll be knowing only that front end means you'll be entering that address of the site, then it'll be popped up with some home page, something like that, dashboard page, something, or something sign in page. Then you'll start working on that, right? So that's the reason this front end we call it as something like UI. So developing of this website or developing of this is also known as UI development. And the people who work on these areas, like front end development, are known as front end developers. We call them as front end developers, or we usually call them as something like UI developers, right? And once some data is entered by the user, okay, and you click some button, something you will be doing, right? Assume registration, you'll be entering some details, then you'll be clicking a button like register here, something like that. The moment something is done like that, or even login as well, username and password, the moment whatever it does by giving providing the details and all, the main logic, if you really click the registration, what should happen? Really registration should happen means his data should be stored from the from the next time onwards. You don't need to give such data again, you directly can go with the login, right? When you are doing login as well, he needs to provide right username and password. That also how you can able to check the username is right or not. First you have to store it, then only you can able to check it, right? So that main logic is happening inside the application backend process or backend development. Usually we say something like application logic. The main application logic will be written here, or we say the other name something like business logic for the application logic. The main business logic or the application logic would be written in the backend, right? And the people whoever work on these areas are known as backend developers. Some people in some terminology people say server side developers, but uh, backend developers is the word which is most famous or most common people will be using, but they are the one who are going to develop something at server side. And within the backend, some people usually say backend separate and database layer separate, but usually backend only contains a database. And if you want it to be like a separate unit, you can consider, but in general, backend will be containing along with the database. And what exactly one should know in order to develop the front end UI development or whatever, in that the technologies one must know are like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. These are the must technologies. So if you learn Angular, not Angular, Angular or React.js or Vue.js, it's an advantage. But the basic things, like if you wanted to develop the web page or website, you must know these three things. Coming to the back-end development, the application logic development, here you should be proficient with any one of the technologies, server-side technologies like Java, or you should be good with the Node.js, or you must be good with the .NET. You might heard this language, .NET, or you can be fine with this a language like Python. You can do that. But when you're dealing with the main real-time scenarios, only pure language will not be using. Along with the language, we'll be using something like framework. If you talk about what I say like Java, you'll be having the Spring. Spring is not a programming language, first of all. It's a programming language. It's a Java only. In Java, only Spring is developed. But if you use the Spring, then Java development will become easy for you. When you're talking about the real-time enterprise applications, so big scale applications. Next is like .NET. You have something like ADO.NET or something like that. Different frameworks are coming nowadays. Not just one framework for one language. And the famous one for the Python is something like Django, but we have Flask, something like that. They are available now. So that's it. And coming to this front end as well, HTML, CSS are like simple languages where you can, they are like pretty straightforward. In HTML, you'll be having tags concept, tag. So to add one content, HTML is generally for content. If you want to add any kind of content, that special tag will be used in HTML. Like the same way, in CSS, we do have something like properties. We have to learn the properties. But JavaScript is like a programming language. The way you have Spring, not Spring, Java, .NET, Python. In the same way, JavaScript is also a programming language. As it is a programming language, it will be involved with all the concepts like programming language. So here also you can go with a framework. And you can go with the pure JavaScript, or you can go with the framework. But as you know, just by looking at this, that backend side, you're having the flavors, right? Different flavors you can go, either Java or .NET or Python like that. But when it comes to this front end, JavaScript is there. That's it. That's the main thing. Problem is browser cannot understand other languages actually. Browser understands mainly JavaScript. So as that is that much famous, it is having more from frameworks. For JavaScript, people develop more frameworks. So in that we have something like React.js, Angular, Vue.js, and we have something like Ember.js, something like that, Next.js like that they are there. But after them, these two are very famous and almost like parallel. But in recent years, at least I can say like just to before lockdown or something like that. That time, just a few months or at least a year before by lockdown. From that time onwards, the popularity for React has been increased like anything. So due to its features like easy to learn, everything will have its own pros and cons, right? So I will talk about that in the future. But this is what we are going to learn in our course. So for front end part, these are the things we'll be learning. And coming to the backend, I'm the one who is going to teach both technologies here. These two, first two, like Java and as well as Node. If I teach Java means along with Spring, and Node means along with the Express. A database anyhow it will be there. So that's it. This is about what is full stack development, and what is client side, and what is server side or backend, and what are the different technologies involved in it. So these are the things we have discussed in our previous session, right? Now today we are going to talk exclusively about this one, that front end development. So as we already discussed about it, like it is for the purpose of creating the client-side software, right? And in this front-end development, we do have three technologies, right? To implement these basic technologies, we have to learn three. What are they? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you look at the backend, we can go with either Java or Python or Node.js or .NET. Actually, we have few more also, but these are famous. Like you can go with even PHP or C++, old language. You can go with them, but we can go with any one of them. But here we are saying like comma, HTML comma, CSS comma, something like Java script. So in order to develop the front end, means you are developing the website or web pages. In the process of developing the web page, here we are taking the help of three technologies. Means there must be a different activity for HTML, different activity for CSS, and different activity for JavaScript. The purpose should be different. Then only we need three technologies, right? See, logic you have to develop at the server side. If you know Java perfectly, properly, then you can develop the logics. Or if you know Node.js, you can develop the logics. Or if you know the Python language, you can develop the logics. That's it. That's the reason you need any one of the languages. But here you are requiring three, total of three languages, which means definitely purpose of each language will be different. So in that, the first web technology, these are also known as web technologies. We call them as UI technologies, front end technologies, and web technologies. Yeah, in this, uh, the first one will be HTML, right? So in this HTML, why actually we need HTML is to add the content to your web page. You know content, right? Whatever we observe on a web page is called content. That can be text, or that may be image, or some video. It can be anything with our eyes we see on a web page whenever we open. That is called what? Content. To add the content, we use HTML. Next is we have something like a CSS. To add some stylings to your web page, we use CSS. So what does it mean? So here content means, okay, I want to add some paragraph to my web page. I want one simple heading and some paragraph. Dear students, welcome to full stack, one heading and some text is there in that paragraph. Only that much. Simple web page I want. But that heading should be in what color, and that paragraph should be in what color, that heading should be in what style. You will be having different font styles, right? All these things are not decided with the help of the HTML. So we must and should use CSS for that. What exactly CSS will do is, for an already existed page, means already which is developed through HTML, for that already existed page it will add some stylings so that it will make the website or web page look beautiful. That is what CSS will be doing. The work of CSS is like beautifying the application. The next one is like JavaScript. We do have an HTML for adding different content to our web page. We can add any kind of content. Then why? What is the purpose of CSS? Already we got to know. Okay, we add all different styles. We can add all content and we can do all kind of stylings. Then what is the need of having JavaScript then? Yes, we can develop these using these two, or what we say like static websites or web pages with whom HTML and CSS. But nowadays, when you're talking about the websites, they are like dynamic in nature. That activity we cannot achieve with the help of HTML and CSS alone. Together, we cannot get it. We need to take the help of JavaScript. So that's the reason we say like JavaScript adds a dynamic nature to the web pages and it decides the behavior of your web page. Dynamic nature means, right? Whenever a whenever this page is in the browser, means like whenever it is in the live, when it's running, as per the user option it has to behave differently. Okay, I will tell you with simple example so that you can understand what exactly JavaScript will do. You might have applied to anything in the online so far, right? In some application you might have applied something. In that time, assume you are applying to a job. Okay, there two options are there. Like one question is there: are you an experienced IT professional? For that, two options would be there: yes and no. If you can choose no, nothing will be there. But the moment you choose yes, one more box will open where you need to enter previous experience or job details. You observe that, right? You observe that, right? So this activity I can never able to do with the HTML and CSS. Understood? Assume I created one website and you opened it, and one more person from this online people like Ari opened another one, Shweta opened another one. Okay, like that Akshar opened, like that people open different my website only, but you open like that all people are opening, and you opted for no, like experience means no, and one more person opted for yes, and one more person opted for no, one more person opted for yes. Now same site, but for you it is behaving differently, like it is showing some content like a extra box, but for other people it's not showing the extra box, right? So that is what the dynamic nature is about, and such nature I can never able to achieve with the help of HTML. Clear? And I can tell you one more example as well, that same story, when you are applying like this, you'll be having a box to enter the address. Like people ask, oh, enter present address, then one more box would be there like enter permanent address. Two boxes will be there. In between, one small checkbox will be there: if both are same, please check here. You understood, right? The moment you click that, then only one box will be there where you need to enter the address, right? This also, using HTML I can put two boxes, or I can keep only one box, but I cannot make that flexibility of user can choose which box. Got it, right? So these are called dynamic activities or dynamic nature. These are together, it's called what? Dynamic nature. That's the reason we use JavaScript to add such a dynamic nature. That's the reason I say that HTML is responsible for content of the page, CSS is for appearance, stylings of the page, and whereas the JavaScript is behavior of the page. How it adds the behavior is, how it changes the behavior is by adding the dynamic nature. Clear? Better clarity, right? The same thing we achieve with the help of React JS and all. Whatever we do with a JavaScript, the same story, but if you use framework, your work will become a bit easy and fine, bit faster. The performance would be improved. That's it. This is completely about your front end, means what are the different technologies, what are the main things in that. So if you add what we say JavaScript to your HTML and CSS, that will become a dynamic website. But nowadays mostly the website which we deal are dynamic, most of the websites. So that's it. This is about your front end, and in that we are going to see now just the first one, the HTML. For the full form of HTML, full form, you don't normally. Yeah. So it's hypertext markup language. The full form, hypertext markup language. See, hypertext is like continuously like content will be changing. Means the moment you click some button, something, then what happens? Something will appear. If you click a link, what happens? Your web page only, but in that other content will come. Suddenly you click something, then button, then something will come. So that is what hypertext. Something is like flashing upon something. Something is getting getting over there, overriding kind of thing. So such behavior is like hypertext. It's not like fixed text. Like for that reason, usually call hypertext. And one more thing is like whenever you observe any web pages, on the top of the web page, on the address bar, you observe something like this: HTTP or HTTPS. You observe, right? S is for secured. Okay, you leave it. But HTTP, HTTP, HTTPS means secured. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It is called what? Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So by obeying this, or by following this protocol only, the internet is working. So you say any application, any website usually following this. You know that, right? So, so What does it mean here is whatever the web pages we create with the help of a technology called HTML, by default will obey this protocol. That's it. Understood? So that is what hypertext is about. Clear? The next is what? Markup language. See, any of the language which usually uses tags for its development, tag, these are called tags actually. These are called tags. This kind of tags, if you use in any of the programming language to development purpose or to develop it, we call them as markup language. In C language, we do not have tags, or in the Java, we do not have tags. That's why we don't call Java is a markup language or C is a markup language. But in HTML, we do have tags. That's why we call it as a markup language. Clear? So that's it. That is a name why we use it. Already purpose, right, to add the content to your web page. And how the content is added here is with the help of the tags. Every content means like text is added with one kind of tag, image is added with one kind of tag like that. In HTML, we do have a concept something like this. This is called a opening tag. What we call it as opening tag. And this also could be can be called as something like start tag. And this can be something here closing tag. What does it mean? Closing tag. The same one can be termed as something end tag. And together, what together this one opening and closing. This is there, no, yeah, together this is like opening and closing. This together is called HTML element. Understood? The first one is like a opening tag and it's a closing tag, and this is together is called what? One element. Which element? It's an HTML element. These elements are something which will be holding the content. Clear? Will be contained in the content. What content? Depending on element, such kind of content will be there. Image related tags will have image oriented content. Text related will have text. Some table related will have table, like that. So different content will be there. This is what basic of HTML. If you take any web page which is running on world wide web, www, right, on that any web page which is currently running will be following a specific blueprint, guys. Blueprint means right, the made model or something like basic structure, I can say. So what is that structure here? I'm going to tell you. This is the structure. Will be following one opening and closing tag. What is the tag name? HTML. What is the tag name? HTML. It's a kind of root tag. It's a main tag, and in that we have two primary tags. The primary tags names are body tag and head tag and body tag. This is the basic structure which is followed by the any web page. Yeah. So HTML is a main tag, root tag. In that we have one primary tag called a head tag, and in that we have one more primary tag called a body tag. That's it. So open head, close head, next open body, close body, all are written inside the HTML. And what we need to provide or what we need to write inside the head tag is something called metadata. I will talk about it. What is that? Now, inside the body, what we need to write is what we need to write all visible content means whenever you open any web page, whatever we see that is written in the body section. Clear? All the visible content is written inside the body. Then what we write in the actual meaning of metadata is information about the information. Understood? Normal meaning of metadata meaning is what? Information about the information. Then what we do here is um, okay. Whenever you open a web page, on the top you'll be having address bar, right? After that, here web page will be started, right? That content is added with the help of body only. Then, but what exactly this head where what we do is some name to your web page, like some title to your web page. That is one thing. Okay, I can tell you with simple example, like you are having textbooks, right? In your school days and college days, you'll be having textbooks. I'm talking about textbooks, not like other material. I'm talking about prescribed textbooks. In that, You might be having some chapters, assume like 8 chapters are there in your textbook. But first, after the book cover, after first page or something, you'll be having an index page, right? What does it will tell you? It tells you like which chapter will be in which page number, and main contents are in which page number. That will tell you total about 8 chapters, yes or no? So that is what gives you information about your complete book, but that is not the actual information, you understand? It tells you the information about information, got it? In the same way, such kind of information about your web page, that is about the textbook. Index page is something which is giving you information about your textbook, total textbook. Here you are having total web page, right? For that web page, if you are talking about any information, such information we do provide in the metadata, but it is not the actual thing. Clear? The actual content is there in the body tag. So that is what header tag contains, metadata is about. Fine. Yeah. So now this is a basic structure which is followed by what I told, every web page. I will show you. What is this page? What is this page? Amazon web page. What is this? Amazon web page. What is the first? You knew about this doc type HTML means, uh, you have to tell to the browser that my page is HTML type. But nowadays it is not compulsory or mandatory to write. Why? Because all browsers are now having enough knowledge to understand if you start anything from the HTML, it will think like a web page only. So writing of this is an optional thing. We don't need to write it. Clear? So if you look at this, what is the first tag I am having? Forget about what is there inside, but what is the first tag? HTML. Clear. Tag here close. Next, what is the second tag? Immediately, edit tag. Are you following? Now, what happened here? Edit tag is closed. This green color is not a content. It's just comments. They are not the code. Green color thing is not the code. After body edit closed, what is open? Body tag is open. Clear. Now, see at the ending, what closed? Body tag. After that, HTML is closed. Right? It is following this structure. Just now I told, right, one basic structure is there which is followed by all web pages. But Amazon is something which might be a use, which will be containing so much of data. That's the reason say you're having only 1900 lines. See there, number of lines is how much? 1900 lines are there, right? It can contain any data inside that. That doesn't matter to us. The only thing is it is following the basic structure which we know. That is what open HTML, close HTML, open header, close it, and then open body, close body, right? In the body content is there. Fine. Okay, this is one thing. Mhm. Yeah, here Wikipedia. Yes, this is also our web page, right? Yes, whose purpose is different. It's not a commercial site whose purpose is to provide some information to the people. Observe. If you look at this, what is the first tag you are able to see? HTML. After that, header tag. Next your header tag is closed. Able to see. Just a minute, it got stuck. Here what? Header tag is closed and immediately body tag is opened, going to the end of the page. Okay. Now if you look at the last lines, end of the page, you got it right. So here what's happening, body tag is closed and immediately HTML tag is closed. It is containing 3600 odd, like those many lines of code. It depends because you'll be having Wikipedia, right? It will be having so much of content will be there, that because you'll be having links, so many things will be there, no, like that. It's fine. So it can be anything, but the thing is our interest is what, so any web page is going to be following this particular basic structure, or we say like blueprint. Now in today's session, what we are going to do is this: we're going to create our first web page. If the pages which are already existed are containing this structure, means if we can make this structure, we can also create our own web page. We may not write all the content because that right now we do not know how to add different content, but basically the structure of web page we already got to know, right? So that using that we can able to create it, right? So now this is what we do. So for this to happen, we should start with HTML only. If you really wanted to work with HTML or even with CSS or even with JavaScript in your, what are the prerequisites? Means what one should already know before you do all these things. Because some practical thing right now you want to create a web page. So what are the prerequisites you need before you start your journey? So as a person, what prerequisites you should have to start your HTML journey is almost nothing. Got it? Means before you start your HTML journey, you don't need to know anything related to software things and all, nothing. Just if you know how to open the system, how to create a folder, those things are basic things. So if you guys know that basic things, that is more than enough to start with the HTML. Clear? So now here, system means like your computer. What are the prerequisites for your computer? Because if you want to practice, you need a system, right? What your system should have, means what are the different softwares it should have, because it has to run your code, right? It has to show the output and run the code. So for that, softwares also, you no need to install any special softwares. Any plain text editors are in your computer, which I am using now. What is the app I am using? Notepad. Good. So that is enough. If you are using Windows, you definitely will be having a notepad, right? Predefined, it will be there, right? So you don't need to install anything. Clear? That is one thing we need to use. And the next thing is like modern browser you need to use. Modern means latest browsers, not the old which are already outdated. No, not latest browsers you need to use. You don't need to install latest versions, sir. Just latest browsers. Like you have Internet Explorer. It was there. Nowadays it's not there. You understood? Such kind of things I'm talking. Clear? And this could be your Chrome, Google Chrome browser, or it can be a Firefox browser, or it can be Microsoft Edge browser, or Safari if you are using Apple systems. It can be anything. That's it. If your system is having these things, then yes, you can start your journey of HTML or something. As a person, you should know nothing. Almost you don't need to have any special knowledge of any other technologies to learn the HTML. Clear? What I want you to do is, what I suggest you guys is, in your computer, because you are learning complete full stack, right? Or complete front end, at least you will be learning. So ensure that you are saving all your files at proper location, so that it will not be clumsy. So for that purpose, what I suggest you is, if you guys are having something like D drive or something drives, you'll be having, right? So instead of C, better divide, you'll be having divisions, right? So better in any of the drives, you do one thing, you just create one folder. But that folder is like a full stack. If you're already learning for full stack, just create a folder like, what is the folder name? Full stack. And within that full stack folder, you need to create one more folder like the front end. What is the folder name? Front end. And then you need to create a folder like HTML, and parallelly you can create one more folder like CSS and JavaScript, next React.js. Within the front end, it should. Now, whatever the things we do with the HTML, all the things you need to store in this location called HTML folder. Clear? Then after that, once front end done, next you need to create one more folder, right? What is that? Backend folder. So that what happens is, whenever you wanted to do some recap or whenever you wanted to recollect something out of the things which you already done, then it will be easy for you to go through it, right? So make that proper, structure. Else don't, like, today you practice something you saved on the desktop somewhere on the right corner, tomorrow you saved somewhere, and suddenly in the D drive, suddenly on the documents, suddenly in the pictures folder. No, don't do such things. Clear? So you do this today, all of you. What is that? First, any of the your own drive, your wish. And usually C I'm not recommending, because in the C you will be having other things, right? System related things. So better you do and create a folder like full stack learning. You write name anything, full stack or full stack learning or something. Front end one more extra folder. In that, again, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, three folders are there inside is subfolders. Next, backend is separate like front end. That's it. But we will be using few days HTML folder only. Now, what we are going to do here is how to create a first web page. Just now we talked about what is our duty, creating the first web page, right? Now we are going to see what are the steps involved in creating the first web page. If you wanted to create the first web page, steps are very simple. You need to take or open new notepad, new file in notepad or new notepad, whatever it is. Open new file in the notepad, and then write basic structure or blueprint of HTML. You know that, right? Now we discussed that. What does it mean? Open HTML, close HTML, that we have to write. Then next step, you have to save the file. You have written the data, right? Next you have to save the file. Means while saving, you have to put .html. Your name can be ABC, hello, hi, first. You write any name of your wish, but ensure that don't give spaces in the file name. You write anything, but don't give spaces. But extension should be .html. And while you are doing this, there is one option. You have to click that all types, all file save type all. What does it mean? I will show you. That's it. If you can do this, that's it. This is called what, creating the web page. Next is, if you want to see the output, go to the file location. You'll be storing in HTML folder somewhere, right? So go to that file location and then select the file, whichever the file you want to see the output. You select the file and just click on that. Selecting what? Normally clicking, and then right click on that. Right click, right? Just press the right click. Then you'll be an option to open with. Then select any browser. Open with any browser. Then you can see the output. Clear? These are the steps to follow, to create a web page. Now we are going to do that. First, what is the first step? Open one new file in the notepad. Right? I'm just taking this file. Okay. This is a new file. You click this. It will give you, what is this? Add new tab. New file will be created. Or you go to file, you can click something like new tab, and your new file will be created. In this, what we need to write? The basic structure. What is the basic structure? We already know it, right? Open HTML, close HTML. Just now we have discussed, right? So this is what the basic structure is about. Instead of writing one by one, I'm just copying it. Okay, yeah. And what we need to write, some meta information. As of now, we will keep it empty. Okay. And what we need to write in the body, the visible content. Whatever the content we actually wanted to add to our web page, that content we need to write here. Okay, I want to write it very simple. Some text I am writing. Hi all, welcome to full stack. That's it. I want to keep it simple. Now what we need to do next is save. Control S you can press, or you can go to file and you can click save. You can do two things. Control S or like this. Now I'm clicking something, Control S. Now see where it is saving. In my computer already few things I saved no in the desktop address desktop full stack 8am folder is there, in that front end folder is there, in that HTML folder is there, in that CSS folder, there it is saved. You save there if you want, or in another structure you can able to create, and there also you can able to save it. Clear? For you, just extra here, what is the documents, right? Yes. In that, but you should not do like this. You should do first only how to create your folder structure. I did not create any folder structure for your batch. That's it. I'm just normally doing it. Here, uh, I'm just creating something. What is the folder name? Full stack 7am. Right now, in that here I'm creating one more folder, front end. Okay, what is the folder? Front end. That I will be creating one more folder, HTML. Are you following? Something like this. Okay, fine. Now I want to store here. Got it? Now what is the location now? So inside that documents, full stack 7am, front end 7am, HTML 7. Now I'm in that location. Now I can able to save here. You write any name for your file. You can write any name. For the name I'm writing, first page. You write anything your wish, but don't give space it like this. First space page you don't write. Now dot HTML is a mandatory thing. You have to write extension dot HTML. So once you are writing that extension like dot HTML, then immediately what you need to do, there's something you're able to select save as type. That is what I mentioned. Save as type is there now. Able to see or not? Uh, Save as type. This one you always should make it all files. Don't leave as it is. If you leave as it is, what happens is it will not create a web page. It will create a file whose name is firstpage.html, whose file is txt file. It will create a firstpage.html.txt file will be created. We don't want. We want firstpage.html file. Understood? So for that to happen, we always have to make it all files. That's the reason I kept this in the rule here, something like this. Just now I told you, no. Now save this. It's been saved. This is the rule I'm talking here. Step. So save the file with extension, but save as type to all files. Always you need to select this. Clear? Clear? Now, okay, we saved it, but what is the thing? I need to see the output. I have written something, no? Yeah, that I want to see. To do that, I should go to that location where we saved actually documents. One folder is called what? Document. In that, uh, what we have here, yeah, full stack 7am, right? Go to that. In that we have one more called what? Front end. Go to the front end. In that HTML. See, web page came. Able to see the icon. What is the icon it is showing? Google Chrome icon, right? And what is the file type it is telling? Here is the type. It is called type. Okay. File type it is telling. Just a minute. What is the type it is telling? HTML. Okay. Why actually it is showing Chrome? In my computer, Google Chrome is the default browser. In your computer, Microsoft Edge may be default browser. Maybe Safari. Maybe Firefox. You understood? That icon will be shown there. Clear? Here also, actually it's HTML document only. That extension extra coming, like not extension, like a prefix. If it is edge, it's edge icon, edge, right? This is edge. So if it is edge, it will show edge icon here. It will show edge document. If it is a Safari, it will show Safari document, HTML document. If it is a Opera, it will show Opera HTML document, whatever it is. Fine. Now, only one thing we have, but assume we have two, three things. Now, which one I want to open? This one only I want to open. Then simply select it. Select it means don't forcefully click it. Normally, just to go there, normally tap it, and then go for right click option. Then here you have an option called what? Open with. Then in my computer, I have only two browsers available. You can click any of the browser. Clear? I am clicking just Google Chrome. Just wait. Able to see the way their content opened in the browser. See our content also opened in the browser. But we are at the starting stage. We have only text content. That to normal only one line content is there. Clear? So this is the way how we will be creating our first page. Clear? And if you look at this is called a tab. You're able to see something new tab. Able to see new tab? This is called a tab. This is called address bar. This is called the main page, web page. Understood? I repeat, this is called address bar. This one is called what? Address bar. So in this, our web page address will be there. This is the from internet. This is the address, https amazon.in. Understood? But here onwards, whatever is there called what? Content. This is written from the body tag. This entire thing is written from the body tag. Now here also, this is an address. This is the title. This is actually tab. What to call it? Tab. In tab, what is the name is there? First page dot html. What is first page dot html? Generally, our web page name. File name is what? First page dot html. But if you look at their tab, there is something online shopping site, something is there. But for us, it is a web page. See, what is this? This is my file name. Yes, and this is something. This is called actually title. Whatever displayed on the tab is called what? Title. My title name is firstpage.html. My file name also firstpage.html. Here the title is coming default because we have not given any title to our web page. If we want to give any title to our web page, here already we have the page, right? We can edit it by providing a special tag in the header tag. What is the tag name? What is the tag name? Title tag. What is the tag name? Title tag. I told you already, this will tell you something extra about your page. What is the title I am giving? My first web page. Now save this. Simply save this. Go to the browser. See, this is before reloading. What is there here? First page. Now I am reloading the page. Now observe. What is the title now? What is the title now? My first web page. But earlier, see, what is my web page name? My page name is firstpage.html. But what is my title? My first web page. So the thing is, by but it is not a part of your web page. See where it is? It is on the top. I told you already. Your web page starts from here. This content is written in the body tag. Something extra information about your web page. That's a metadata that is written inside the header tag. To give the title to your web page, we write title tag inside the edit tag. Clear? So by default, if we don't provide title, file name will be considered as a title. But if we want our own title, then we can write the title with our own name inside the header tag. That's it. Clear? So that is what about giving the title to the page. So this is the process of creating the first web page. So that's it for today. I hope you guys understood whatever we have gone through today's session. That is, we did some simple recap on what exactly full stack development is. That is the process of developing the complete web application end to end. In that, two parts will be there: front end development and as well as back end development. And we also seen the different technologies involved in it. What main thing back end will do is the application logic or business logic, and developers will be the backend developers, and they will do with any of the languages. Only one technology they will be doing. Next, coming to the front end, we definitely require three technologies minimum. Yeah, HTML purpose is content, CSS adding just stylings, it will make beautification of the web page. JavaScript adds a dynamic nature with the programming actually. And if you use only HTML, CSS, static sites are created, but if you use JavaScript, dynamic websites are created. Exclusively HTML is something like content will be adding, hypertext markup language it is. How it will be adding is with the help of the tags. We have open tags and we have closing tags for that, and together is like an HTML element. Every element will be hold some content, will be holding some content. If you take any web page, that definitely will be following this blueprint or basic structure, which starts from the HTML, which is like a root tag, and inside that the two primary tags, head and the body tag. Head is something which will be containing the meta information, like it's called what, meta data will be there, and body is something where all visible content will be there. Fine. And meta is extra information about your web page. That's it. So, but the main content is written inside the body only. Now you see images, you see so many things that all are written only in the body. That is what we are going to learn in the future session. That is from tomorrow sessions, we are going to learn how to add text related content, how to add headings, how to add images, and all we'll be learning. Next is the first important thing is how to create the first web page. If you really want to do that, you don't require any special prerequisite as a person. Means you don't need to learn first something, not required, but you should have basic system knowledge. That's enough. Next is as a system, like your computer, what it should already have something to be pre-installed, not special softwares, but the main things already there, like text editor like Notepad, any modern browser is enough to start with. And first to do the folder structure in your computer. This is the first important thing you do because of to avoid the clumsiness, while practicing. Do this, then create just to open the notepad, new file, then write basic structure, write the content of your wish in the body, write something in the body, then save the file, but with .html as the extension. But save type to all files always, and then go to the file location to see the output. Select that file, just right click on that and open to any of the browser. That's it. If you can do that, you can able to see the output. And to see the output, there is one more way also, sir. Like this we do, right? Or there I can open it in the edge, or anywhere I can open it here. See, not this one, just a minute. Here, option open with the, what is this edge, right? If I click, see in the edge browser the content is getting open, right? See, only one tab, this one is open. But what I want to say is, if you want to open the Chrome only directly, then double click it, directly it will open the Chrome, understood? But if you want to open a special any your own browser, then you have to right click and open. So that's it, guys. That's it for the day. I hope you guys understood today's session, that is uh, all the things related to full stack development, different things involved in it, and especially about the front end development and the purpose of HTML, and exclusively about creating the first web page. If you guys are having any doubt regarding the same, just let me know. By unmuting yourself, you can ask your doubt, or you can post your doubt in the chat box. I'll be answering you guys. Else, if you people are fine with the session, means you understood the session, just give me the confirmation message like you are clear. All of you have to respond. Try to respond in the chat box if you are clear. You just do that quickly.
Yeah, Sunit here. I have one
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
Suppose once we learn the front end and then
Mhm.
back end, okay. So how long the front end course will be, and how long would be the back end course timeline?
You're asking, okay, you're asking about the duration.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So
And
it will be around. Yeah. Tell me. Tell me.
yep. And second question is, after the completion of this course, along with projects which you have mentioned it,
Mhm.
so are we going to get any like uh, equal to 5 years experience, 3 years experience when we wanted to crack an interview for the job positions?
Okay, fine. So the first question is like the duration you asked, right? So it would be like 2 plus 2. It will be like nearly 2 plus 2. 2 months will be complete front end, and so 1.5 to 2 months will be like your back end. Okay, and coming to that, that purely depends on how much uh, efforts you are keeping from your end. But coming to the technology wise, the depth and the main real time scenarios, and like I told you, like industry oriented training and so with that actually you can gain a knowledge of 4 years, up to 4 years you can gain the knowledge, especially the total full stack. If you consider, you can gain that knowledge. But it's all about how many things you are also doing from your end. I'll be giving you so many tasks, and I will be giving you projects also to do that, right? And if you are really involving in it, and if you are using your logical skills, and you are doing it from the scratch, you're doing everything like day by day, if you are following it and all, yes, you can reach to that stage like 4. Yeah. Clear?
Okay. Yep. Thanks for answering.
Yeah, others guys, just respond. Albin, Akshara. If you do not have any doubts, you just you mention like you are clear in the chat box. You just mention your message. Sweta, Sai Kiran. Yeah, okay. JJ. Yeah, Sunita. Sunita. Okay, Sunita done that. Okay, fine. Yeah, JJ, are you there? Albin, Albin, you have any doubt or you're clear? So Shweta just mentioned like you're clear. You should not have any doubt. Yeah. Okay, guys. Then it seems to fine for most of you, right? So that's it for today. I'm looking forward to meet you on next session. That will be uh, uh, we'll be talking about a little bit more about HTML and okay. Thank you, guys. Bye, guys. Take care.